Your life is like an egg, that if an egg is broken by an outside force, life ends. But if it's broken by an inside force, life begins. Great things begin on the inside. So Fearless Motivation has a saying, strong mind, strong life. And I want to take it to a new level. This is about limitless mind, limitless life. I'm going to show you the 5 keys to creating a limitless mind and a limitless life. My name is Jim Kwik of Kwik Learning. I'm here to help you to learn quickly. I am a brain coach and author of the new book, Limitless. Upgrade your brain, learn anything faster, and unlock your exceptional life. So let me share with you the 5 keys. But before I do, let me give you a framework. This is a framework I call the Limitless Model. And it's a 3-part framework. Imagine 3 intersecting circles. They overlap each other. And each of these 3 things are what's going to unlimit you. A process I call in the book unlimiting. Actively removing the borders and barriers to your life. So I want you to imagine a box. Imagine a box that you feel stuck in. It could be an area of your life where you're not making progress or you're not advancing. You feel like you're being held back. Maybe it's in your relationship. Maybe it's in your income. Maybe it's in your career. Maybe it might be in your health or your fitness. Think about an area of your life right now where you feel like you're in a box. Now that box is a 3-dimensional box, and there are 3 forces that keep you in that box. And there are also 3 forces that will liberate you out of that. So let me give you the framework right now. It's in these 3 circles. The first circle is called your mindset. Your mindset. And how I define that is your set of assumptions and attitudes on what you believe is possible, what you believe you deserve, what you believe you are capable of, what you believe is in your power. And so that's your mindset. Now the second circle is your motivation. What is your motive for taking action? Now, a lot of people, they think motivation is getting hyped up, going to an event, but the evidence that you are motivated is that you do something. You could say you're motivated, you could feel like you're motivated, but if you're not acting and working out or reading or doing the things you need to do, then you're not really motivated, are you? And so there's a 3-part formula to motivation that I'm going to share with you in a moment. It's part of the 5 steps. And this is the key to sustainable motivation. When some people think about Limitless, they think about the movie with Bradley Cooper and Robert De Niro, where Bradley Cooper goes from 0 to hero by taking a pill. And when he takes that pill, he has this incredible memory, incredible focus. He learns languages. He writes his books in a handful of days, right? But what happens is after the pill wears off, he loses all his motivation. So what's the key to sustainable motivation? And I'm going to give you that in one moment. The final piece though, the 3rd M, you have mindset, motivation, is your methods. Your methods. Your methods are the strategies, the techniques, the tools, the process, if you will, for achieving that goal. Now, in the book, we talk about accelerated learning, and the methods are on speed reading, on memory improvement, on focus, concentration, on how to study technical material in half the time. But if you don't have the mindset and the motivation to use those tools, there's a big lie. And that lie is that knowledge is power. Here's the thing, all the videos, podcasts, programs, none of it works unless you work too. And so knowledge is potential power. It becomes power when you what? When you put it into action. And that's really the key. So when you see this framework of mindset, motivation, and methods, what I want you to see is those intersecting points. Where mindset crosses over with motivation, you have something called inspiration. Where mindset and motivation mix, you have inspiration. And there are mindset books and motivational books and mindset speakers and motivational speakers, and there are inspirational speakers and inspirational books and inspirational movies. Where mindset crosses over with methods, you believe it's possible and you know what to do, that's ideation. It only stays an idea because you lack the what? The motivation. And where motivation crosses over with methods, you have something called implementation. Implementation. You're motivated and you know what to do, the methods, But you could still be stuck in that box because you're only going to be able to achieve what you believe is possible, what you believe you are capable of, what you believe you deserve. So for example, when people see me on stage, I often have a number of people stand up, maybe 50 or 100 people, and I'll memorize all their names, forwards and backwards, or they'll give me 100 numbers or 100 words, and I'll memorize those. And I always tell people, I don't do this to impress you. I do this to express to you what's truly possible. But here's the thing, you just were not taught. If anything, you were taught a lie. You were taught a limit. A lie is a limited idea entertained. That's what lie stands for me. A limited idea that you're entertaining. It's not necessarily true. So if you learn in my book, for example, how to remember names, that's the method, but your mindset is, oh, I'm too old, or I'm too stupid, or I have a horrible memory. Your brain is like a supercomputer, and your self-talk is a program it will run. So if you tell yourself you're not good at remembering names, you will not remember the name of the next person you meet because you program your supercomputer not to. In fact, that is step one. For a limitless mind and a limitless life, you need to be able to upgrade your mindset. And where it starts is your self-talk. People come to me all the time and say, Jim, I have a horrible memory. Jim, I'm not smart enough. And I always say, stop. If you fight for your limitations, you get to keep them. If you fight for your limitations, they're yours. And here's the thing, when you have that negative self-talk, your mind is always eavesdropping on your self-talk. So you want to keep it positive. And the best way of doing it is just self-awareness. Notice that inner voice. And when you say something negative like, oh, I don't have a great memory, then just add a little word at the end, like yet. I don't have a great memory yet. And it opens up the possibility. So that's step one, is to upgrade your mindset and control your self-talk. Step 2, 3, and 4 come in the form of your motivation formula. Now there's a key formula for achieving sustainable motivation. And if you procrastinate, you put things off, or you sabotage, you need to look at your motivation. The 3-step formula is this: P times E times S3. P times E times S3. So the P stands for purpose. When you want to be motivated, I want you to ask yourself this question: why must I do this? What are all the benefits that will come, the rewards that I'll achieve by doing this thing? And what are the consequences that I will feel if I do not do this? So the P is purpose, have a reason. Great book, Start With Why by Simon Sinek. Start with your why. Why must I do this? The E in the equation of motivation is this: energy. Here's what my mind did. I pulled out in my thought experiment and I said, I want to build the ultimate motivated human being. If they have a big enough purpose, will they always be motivated? And I thought, no, because they could be lacking the energy. If they don't have the energy, let's say that maybe they're motivated, they have purpose to work out, they know all the reasons and all the benefits, how they're going to feel and look, but maybe they have a newborn and they didn't sleep for 2 days in a row. What are they going to do? They're not going to be motivated because they lack energy. Or let's say you want to read, we're famous for teaching people how to read at least one book a week. Maybe you want to read one book a week, but you ate a really big processed meal and you're in a food coma, and you could have all the reasons and purpose, but you don't have the mental energy, you have mental fatigue and brain fog, so you can't get yourself motivated to read. So you need to optimize your energy. In the book, we talk a lot about the best brain foods, how to lower stress, how to optimize your sleep, so much more. But you need to tap into that well of energy. And finally, my mind said, okay, if we're building the ultimate motivated human being and you have the purpose and that person has unlimited energy, will they always be motivated? And I thought, no, something's missing. If that thing is too big, your goal is too big, too intimidating, or too confusing, like maybe your goal is to find your soulmate and live happily ever after. That's way too big. Maybe your goal is to have, the perfect physique and six-pack abs. That's way too big. Maybe your goal is to make the next $1 billion online brand. Way too big. S3 stands for small, simple steps. Here's how you get that small, simple step. You ask yourself this question: what is the smallest action I could take that will allow me progress towards this goal where I cannot fail? What is the smallest action I could take that allows me progress towards this goal where I cannot fail? Because it requires very little effort, very little energy. So maybe you're not going to think, oh, I got to work out every single day. Maybe your small, simple step, if you're not motivated, is getting on your running shoes. Maybe if you want to read a book a week, maybe that's too big. Maybe it's just that day opening up the book or reading one sentence. And you're not going to stop at one sentence, are you? No, of course not. Yard by yard, it's too hard. But inch by inch, it's a cinch. That's the goal. Break it down into tiny steps. So far, in order to build this and create this limitless mind and this limitless life, first, control your self-talk, your thoughts, upgrade your mindset. Second, find your purpose. Third, optimize your energy through the great food, stress management, optimizing your sleep, and 7 other things we talk about in the Limitless book. And break it down into small, simple steps. That's the 4th key. And your 5th key for creating a limitless mind and a limitless life, the 5th key is this: upgrade your methods. Upgrade your methods. You know, in times of crisis where things are changing, in turbulent times, you do not want to downgrade your dreams to meet your current situation. What you want to do is upgrade your capabilities, your methods, your skills to meet your dreams, to meet your destiny, if you will. And the challenge is, when's the last time you upgraded your skills? And I think if there's one skill to master in the 21st century, especially today, it's your ability to learn faster. If there was a genie who could grant you any one wish, but just one wish, what would you wish for? Infinite wishes, right? Millions of wishes. Well, if I was your learning genie and I could help you learn any one subject or any one skill, become a master, any one subject or any one skill, what would the equivalent be of asking for infinite wishes? What skill or subject? It would be learning how to what? Learning how to learn. Because if you could learn how to learn, you could grant all your wishes. You could apply that towards money, towards marketing, towards management, towards Mandarin, towards music, towards martial arts. Everything in your life gets easier. Learning how to learn is the most important skill. To apply it towards something like upgrading your brain, like you would upgrade your phone. And simple things that you could do. Simple things we teach in the book and in our podcast on how to remember names, how to learn a language, how to read 2 or 3 times faster, how to focus and concentrate. Because here's the thing, this is not about how smart you are. It's not how smart you are, it's how are you smart. It's not how smart you are, it is how are you smart. And here's the final words. Your life is like an egg. That if an egg is broken by an outside force, life ends. But if it's broken by an inside force, life begins. Great things begin on the inside. And you have greatness inside of you. You have genius inside of you. Now is the time to apply that fearless motivation, to have your limitless mind, to have and enjoy your limitless life. I'm your brain coach, Jim Kwik, and I want to thank you for watching this, and I wish your days be full of lots of life, lots of laughter, lots of love, and always lots of learning.